Right now, somewhere, someone is telling their friend, "You're not a bad person. You just made a mistake." And an hour later, alone in their car, replaying their own mistake, they're calling themselves worthless for the exact same thing. Not a different mistake, the same one, just aimed at a different person. And that person is always them. Let's talk about the people who are endlessly kind to everyone except the one person they can never escape, themselves. You've met them. Maybe you are them. The friend who will spend an hour convincing you that your mistake wasn't a big deal, that you're too hard on yourself, that everyone messes up sometimes, and then 20 minutes later refers to their own identical mistake as proof that they're an idiot who ruins everything. There's no consistency to it, except there actually is. It's just aimed entirely inward. Psychologists call this an empathy asymmetry. And the wild thing is, it's not that these people lack empathy, it's the opposite. They have so much of it that they've allowed themselves to become the one exception to their own rule. Kristen Neff, who basically built her career researching self-compassion, found something almost poetic in her studies. The same people who score highest on compassion for others often score lowest on compassion for themselves. It's like they built a beautiful, warm house for everyone else to live in, and they sleep outside in the rain. Why would anyone do that to themselves? A few reasons, and none of them are simple. First, there's the idea of moral licensing in reverse. Normally, when people do something good, they give themselves permission to slack off later. That's the classic version. But for people who hate themselves, kindness toward others often becomes a kind of penance. Somewhere along the way, they absorbed the belief that they are fundamentally flawed, difficult, too much, not enough, pick your poison, and being good to others becomes the tax they pay just to exist in a room with people. It's not generosity. It's atonement for a crime they don't even remember committing. Then there's attachment theory, and this is where it gets personal for a lot of people watching this. If you grew up in a home where love felt conditional, where affection showed up only after good grades or good behavior, or after you made yourself smaller and easier to deal with, your nervous system learned an equation early. My worth is something I have to earn through what I do for other people. So you grow up scanning every room for how you can be useful, because usefulness is the only currency you trust. Meanwhile, the part of you that just wants to be loved for existing gets quietly buried, because nobody ever showed you that was possible. And here's the cruel twist. The kindness is real. These aren't people performing niceness to manipulate anyone. The compassion they show you is genuine, generous, and often exactly what you needed in that moment. The problem isn't the kindness itself. It's that it's come from a broken pricing system, one where their own worth got marked down to zero while everyone else's got marked up. There's also something researchers call the inner critic voice, and if you've ever sat with someone who hates themselves, you'll notice their self-talk sounds nothing like how they talk to their friends. Ask them to console a friend who failed a test, and they'll say something warm, something reasonable. Ask them how they feel about their own failure, and suddenly they're a courtroom prosecutor building a case for the death penalty. Same brain, same person, completely different set of rules. Almost like two people, one who extends grace freely and one who was never taught they deserved any. Some psychologists link this to the observer effect and self-perception. We're kinder to people when we can see the full context of their lives. We know our friend was exhausted, going through a breakup, running on no sleep when they snapped at someone. But with ourselves, we don't get that zoomed-out view. We only see the failure, frozen in a single frame, disconnected from everything that led to it. No context, no mercy, just the crime. And maybe the most hopeful part of all this is that self-compassion isn't a fixed trait. It's trainable, the same way a muscle is trainable. Neff's research found that people who practice self-compassion exercises, as simple as talking to themselves the way they'd talk to a friend, show measurable drops in anxiety and depression over time. The kindness these people give away so freely to others is already inside them. It was never missing. It was just never redirected inward. So if you recognize yourself in this, the person who forgives everyone except themselves, maybe the goal isn't to become less kind. The world needs people like you. Maybe the goal is just expanding the guest list, Let yourself into the room you've been building for everyone else all along.